Hello everyone, this is Tim with Paintball Tek. Got a rebuild video for you guys today for the CCM vertical high pressure regulators. This is obviously a trio of regs going from the original S5 quote unquote trash can style reg, a big chunky one here, to the S6 style, and then the T2 style with the step design. These are all basically the same. The only difference is, well, CCM did change a few things over the years, kind of arbitrarily. They changed the pistons inside back and forth between aluminum and Delrin, but the main difference is changing the reg head on the top. So I'm just going to pull these all apart and show you the tops, and then we're going to concentrate on rebuilding this one at the end. But just to show the differences here. The old S5 reg has the aluminum piston inside and this style hex on the top. The CCM one, for the S6 style, switched to a Delrin piston, a black Delrin piston in this case, and I switched to a little gold style top. And then the T2 regs, at least some of them, had a white Delrin piston and a little bit larger hex. Whoops. A little bit larger hex with the slot across it instead of the indent like these two have. Now, for the older style ones, to get these hex pieces out, use a 3/8 inch nut driver. Just fits around the part. You can unscrew it. It will come out with your reg nut, the piston, the reg seat O-ring, and the spring. Put this one back together real quick. The S6 version, the same, uses that 3/8 inch hex. Comes out like that. Looks basically the same. Then the T2, because it has T2 reg, because it has that slightly larger hex in it, uses a larger. I'll set these aside for now. Uses a larger socket. It's a 7/16 to get this out. So, anyway, like I said, we're going to concentrate on rebuilding this one. So, take the top off. It's a 7/16, either a nut driver or a socket, something like that. In this case, I've got a little socket. This will come out. And it's got the nut, the reg seat O-ring, and the piston and spring. This is now empty. And then for the bottom part, you can use a 3/16 and just screw your velocity adjustment or pressure adjustment screw all the way in and push out the internals. This is going to be hollow now. You'll have your piston, spring, the push plate, and the screw. So that's basically how everything is laid out inside. I'm going to go ahead and start replacing the O-rings. Top of the reg, you've got the 015 here. New 015 on. Standard tank size ring. The small reg seat O-ring. Originally, when these regs were made, they were made with a 006 70 durometer O-ring. They have since changed that to a 006 90 durometer O-ring. The 90 durometer is stiffer and it prevents the O-ring from getting sucked down into this little hole here. You can use a 00690 Buna. However, I usually replace them with a 00690 poly seal. This is the same seal that Ninja uses for their fill nipple O-rings. It's a very stiff seal, but it holds up very, very well and pretty much never wears out. So, anyway, 690, whether it's Buna or poly, either way, works fine. Going down to the nut, this is a number 10 O-ring, 010. Go back together. Then you have the piston ring. This big fat guy. This one is a 113. And then there's also one on the lower housing here that seals the two halves together. This one is a number 17. An 18 will work as well if you don't have a 17 handy. Very rarely has to get replaced anyway. So, from the factory, they use a silicone grease, like a Super Lube or Dow 7, something like that, like a lightweight silicone. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same type of grease for the main piston here. And then coat the inside wall a little bit. And drop the spring chaser and the spring down first. Drop the piston with the pointy side up, because that's what's going to push on the rake head here. That goes in there. And then your adjustment screw goes in the bottom. Now, if you don't want to change your pressure by moving the screw when you do this, you can use a neo-nose pliers and just grab this piston and pull it out. For disassembly, you don't have to push that screw all the way in. And then for the reg head, like other regs of this style, you usually just put oil on the seals. You don't want to use grease because this is the part that moves and regulates the pressure. Just kind of start the threads with your fingers. And then finish it up with the wrench so you can tighten it down. A little bit of oil on the 017 O-ring here. And the reg screws back together like that. If you have trouble getting them apart, obviously there's wrench flats here on the bottom that you can use to assist in breaking the reg apart, which is nice. Wipe off any excess oil or grease, and your CCM rig is rebuilt and ready to go for your next game. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.